and a warm welcome to Ina Knits. My name is Ina, I am a Norwegian knitter and I love to talk to you about my knitting and yarn and all the woolly, fibery goodness. My dog Billy is joining today as well. He is on the couch right in front of me and you might hear him every now and then. He is commenting on the neighborhood, so whenever he hears or sees a dog that goes by, he will probably let me know, and you know. Yeah, there's been a wonderful November so far. I have been posting weekly hygge vlogs here on my YouTube channel and I'm so thrilled about this tradition, might I call it. It's something that I enjoy very much to make, and all the interaction with you afterwards makes it so worthwhile. So I'm very happy to hear that a lot of you seem to enjoy my weekly vlogs. I will continue posting weekly vlogs until the end of November, and after that I will continue with monthly or bi-monthly vlogs, but more of that towards the end of this episode. With that said, making vlogs takes up a lot of time, so I realized that it has been probably a month since my last regular podcast episode. I actually recorded a full episode a couple of weeks back, but I totally gave up on trying to edit it finished in order to publish. So here I am again, and this time it will go out on YouTube for sure. Yeah. Tomorrow, me and Christian, who is my boyfriend and partner, we are going on a weekend getaway together to Stockholm in Sweden and visit a Christmas market and just have a weekend to ourselves in the city, which is very exciting. So I realize now that the color of this sweater makes me super pale, but I guess that's November for you, isn't it? I've been knitting a lot lately, and I am super excited to show you what I have off the needles as well as on the needles. And I think I would like to start off showing you a couple of mittens. So this is a pair of Selbu mittens. I talked a little bit about them on the hygge vlog, a week or part 3 of the hygge vlogs. So these, you can see I haven't woven in any ends yet, but I'm really going to do that now any minute. This is a pair for my stepdaughter. So she very kindly asked me if I could knit her a pair of mittens, and of course I am happy to do so. And she really wanted just the plain black and white Selbu mittens. They're really common around here, as the little place called Selbu is just half an hour, 40 minutes from where I live. And Selbu is the origin of the Selbu pattern and the Selbu mittens. So the pattern I have used is a pattern from Skeindeer, and she did a Selbu mitten club a few years back, and I got the full club, so I think it includes like 5 or 6 different Selbu mitten patterns, and I have knitted 3 or 4 of them, and they are great patterns, all of them. But this is the pattern that actually is named Selbu mittens. So it's also available from her Ravelry page as a single pattern. So you can buy this on its own or as part of the bundle called the Selbu Mitten Club 1. Or yeah, I think she did a couple of clubs there. And it's a really, really nice pattern. And yeah, so I have knit these out of a very soft superwash merino yarn, and if you're familiar with stranded color work, you might know that knitting color work with superwash merino yarn can be a little bit tricky because the yarn is very slick or slippery. So I really do prefer to knit with a little bit rougher yarn, but yeah, my stepdaughter, she has a very sensitive skin, so I was afraid that if I used a more scratchy yarn that it would be too itchy on her hands. And yeah, she came with me to the yarn store and picked out this yarn herself, and it passed the test completely. So yeah, very happy with these. They're done, and they took me only like 2 full days to complete. It was a super fast knit. I think when I get started on stranded color work, especially on a very small project like this, it's almost hard for me to stop knitting because I find it so satisfying, and I need to do just another round to see how the pattern progresses and how it turns out in the end. So yeah, I really, really enjoy knitting something like this. So now I'm just very, very inspired to knit a whole bunch of Selbu mittens. But I have so many plans that we will have to wait and see which of the plans that I prioritize. The second project that's of my needles is a pair of socks, and I'm so happy to have this finished because these are men's sized sock. It's the European size 45, and it is a pair of socks for Christian. Out of this wonderful Tweedy BFL Blue Face Leicester yarn. I talked about them a little bit on my last podcast episode. So the backstory is that he really wished for another hand-knit socks, another pair of hand-knit socks, and he asked if he could have a pair out of Tweed yarn. And I kind of by accident found a hank of wonderful Tweed yarn in the shelf over here, which is all of the indie dyed. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, all of them are indie dyed hanks of hanks of yarn. And this is a very special one because it's dyed naturally dyed using madder root. So the funny thing is, when we wound up the ball of yarn, so many small parts of madder root, like dried madder root, fell out of the hank. So it was kind of hilarious. And even when I knitted on the socks, every now and then some small pieces of madder roots, like wood, fell out of the yarn as I knitted. So that was kind of funny to witness. So yeah, the color is very nice. It's a very warm, like cinnamon coffee, no, not coffee, but chocolate, maybe a chocolate color. So really beautiful there. And Christian is very happy with his new socks, and I'm very happy to have them off my needles. I love knitting socks for him, as he's super knit worthy and he wears his hand knit socks all of the time. So, and I really needed a new pair now. But I'm not very inspired knitting on like one colored projects. I think it's a little bit boring, so yeah, I was very happy when these were done. I also knitted a few mitts, and here is the first pair of mitts. And here is the second pair. So I can put them on so you can have a closer look. And this is a fairly new pattern that Julia Pehl came out with earlier this fall. They're called the... I don't remember the name, but I will put it on the screen. But it's a beautiful cable pattern on the front of the hand, and it's a broken rib on the back. It's a very nice pattern. I enjoyed knitting it a lot. So I had like four balls of this very old alpaca cashmere yarn. It's a worsted weight yarn, but it's extremely soft, and I think the color is amazing. It's been in my stash since forever, meaning maybe 15 years. As I remember it, I bought it on a clearance sale, and I only got like four balls, and I've been I've been wondering ever since what to do with that exclusive cashmere yarn. And yeah, so in October, two of my best friends, they have their birthday in October, and I had this idea that I would knit them both a pair of cashmere mitts for their birthday. So that's what I've been doing. But as you can see, they haven't got them yet, so I just have to trim the ends and give them a little wash, I guess. And then they're ready to go. Yeah. So, yeah. And I knitted the size small. I think there's 3 sizes available, and I knit all of them in size small. And I do have a little over 1 ball left. So I used a little under 3 balls of 50-gram yarn for 2 full pairs. Meaning that I was thinking if I could crank out a 3rd pair for myself from the remains, but I don't think that will be enough. But if you are on the lookout for a very quick knit, these are perfect as gifts. So I can really recommend the pattern. It's very well written and clearly instructed, so please do go check out her pattern. It's yeah, it's really, I can definitely recommend the pattern. It's wonderful. So that's that. I'm also in the making of a couple of cozy socks, and I only have finished the first sock, and I'm really unsure if I've showed you this already, but I don't think so. I think it was on the episode that never came out on YouTube. So yeah, I have a pair of thicker woolen socks which I knitted way back, and I am using those socks all of the time when I'm really cold. These are knit out of a double fingering weight yarn, so 2 strands of fingering weight yarn held together. And I really enjoy so much the squishy fabric, and especially when you knit it ribbed like this. It's just so lovely and squishy and toasty on my feet. So I use it indoors as slipper socks, and I also wear them to bed when I get to bed and I'm really cold on my feet. Then they are perfect. So yeah, I did write up the pattern for these socks many years ago, back in the days when I had a knitting blog in Norwegian. But it's only in Norwegian, and now I have started the translation of the pattern, and I'm planning to publish the pattern in not too long. So yeah, stay tuned to the end of the podcast if you want to hear more about that. But I only have 1 sock finished, and I'm about to cast on the second one. Yeah, they're a great pair of socks to use up little scraps of fingering weight yarn. Here I've held 1 strand of plain white together with some scraps, and I really like how they turned out. I'm also knitting something new for Billy, my dog. He enjoys wearing pullovers, sweaters, dog jumpers a lot when it's cold outside and inside. So he has a couple of store-bought sweaters, and he also has a couple of sweaters that I have knitted for him. But I really think that he needs more sweaters, because he wears them all the time, and sometimes we need to change it up and wash them, and yeah, you know. So a new sweater for him is on the needles, and a little the inspiration for this sweater is the Riddari pullover. So this is my pullover that I knitted 2 years back, and I knit the exact same for Christian. So we are twinsies when we wear our Riddari sweaters. And I do have some left over from this sweater. Are you excited? And now Billy gets to wear a Riddari inspired sweater too, in the exact same colors as ours. So I gotten quite a few questions about Billy's homemade sweaters, and unfortunately I do not have a pattern for you if you're interested and into this. There might be several great patterns out there, but the way I have done it, I used one of his store-bought sweaters as a template, basically. And then I just cast it on a certain amount of stitches, and I've done some ribbing and yeah, I have a fold-over hem for a turtleneck for one of his other sweaters. But and then I increased some stitches around here and have just knitted a plain tube. And I put in holes for the feet, and I just used the measurements on the store-bought sweater. So I kind of eyeball how long it needs to be from the neck and down to the opening for his front paws or front legs. And yeah, basically using the other sweater as a template, really. And as you can see, the patterning is not the exact same as for the Riddari, but it's ish alike. And of course here, this is here you have a lot of increases in the yoke, and I couldn't do the same increases in his sweater because it has to be a long tube. Billy is has a long body, and it's yeah, he's not as curvy as a human being from the neck and down. So yeah, the tube is what fits his body best. So that is how I do it, and it's a very fun project. I cast on this yesterday, and it's kind of just flies off the needles. It's very fun. And now all I have to do is knit blue until I'm almost at the full body length, and then I will probably finish off with this border that's down on the arms and the bottom hem of this sweater. Very cute. And of course I will show you how it turns out in the end. The yarn I'm using is the Peruvian Highland wool from Filcolana. It's a beautiful yarn. I love it so much. It's a wonderful DK. And yeah, if I'm not mistaken, this is the Fisherman's Blue, if you're interested. Focus. There we are. Which is color number 808. 818. Okay, some tea. I think there's only 2 more active projects. And first of all, I'm doing a test knit for the Bluebird box, and it is a sweater. It's really nice, and I have got permission to show this off, even though it's not published as a pattern yet. But it's got a very interesting shoulder construction and a wonderful raglan increase. And as you can see, it is a rather nice leftover Scrappy yarn stash buster project. So I've used a lot of minis and small scraps of yarn already, and I have a wonderful basket of more yarn that I plan to put into it. And yeah, I think I will bring this with me to Stockholm and work on it on the plane, and yeah, while we're there. It's very fun. I love knitting on projects like this. So it's using 2 strands of fingering weight yarn, and you can just add in a new stripe or scrap whenever you feel like it. Or of course, if you want to knit it as a one color project, that's not a problem either. So yeah, super fun. I love it. And yeah, the other thing that's on my needles right now, you know, I always have a knitting project, an easy one, going in my purse or my handbag. And lately I've had Christian's brown tweedy socks there, but now when they got finished, I swapped them out with the October socks. I'm about to start working on the heel on that sock, and the first one is already finished. The yarn is from Milla's Mikrofargeri, which is a Norwegian indie dyer quite close to me. The yarn was bought, I think it's 5 years ago now. I was part of a subscription club that she did, and I enjoy this very much. The color of the yarn is October, so that's why I call the socks my October socks. I wish that I could show you some kind of progress on my Christmas sweater, but unfortunately I have none. So I really want to get going on that. It might be a project for December. And speaking of December, I have received advent calendars this year. I'm so excited. So I have treated myself to a wonderful advent calendar from So Sweet Violet. And I think it's a 12-day advent. So I plan to open up one gift every other day throughout December until the Christmas Eve. In addition to that, I have swapped advent calendars with 2 wonderful ladies. Marilisa, who is Spool Stories, on Instagram. She lives in Greece and she's an amazing sewist. We swapped advent calendars and hers arrived a few days ago and it's amazing. So I swapped with mini calendars with her, and then I've also swapped an advent calendar with Tove, who is Senja Baronessa on Instagram, and we swapped like 5 gifts. So there's one gift to open every Sunday of Advent and one extra for Christmas Eve. So there's lots to look forward to. I'm very, very pepped and stoked about Advent, which is only a little over 1 week till we get to Advent. I've also been coloring up a little bit more yarn. I'm still having fun with yarns. So, you know, playing around with color is very, very much fun. Oh, it's a little bit tricky to show you here, but this time I colored like, yeah, there's one variegated speckly one. Or 4 weeks back, I attended the Norwegian knitting podcaster meetup, which was lovely meetup. It was, I think, 23 or 24 Norwegian knitting podcasters. We got together and spent a weekend together. I got to meet a lot of new people. Some of them I met before, but it was a wonderful weekend, and there were many sessions, workshops. We learned so many new things, and we got to, there were some presentations from designers and yarn producers, and it was a wonderful weekend. I really enjoyed it, and I felt so fortunate to get to know a lot more people in my same niche, as to say. There were also some exhibitions there, like stands where we could buy yarn, project bags, stitch markers, and a lot of other goodies. I unfortunately only brought home 2 lovely things, but nevertheless so beautiful. The first one was this beautiful hank of yarn from Ulltøsene, and I really couldn't resist because I think the colors are absolutely stunning. This is called Mugop. And I also found this beautiful blue by Moba's lille hobbykrok. And I am not usually drawn to blue, so that's kind of why I bought it, because I wanted to challenge myself and go a little bit outside my comfort zone. We also got a goodie bag. And because a lot of this is kind of only related to Norwegian knitters, I assume I will show you the content really quick, but I will not go into too much detail. The meetup was sponsored by Rauma yarn, so we got 2 beautiful pieces of Rauma plum in this amazing color. It's really beautiful. And we also got a ball of finer garn. I think everyone got different colors. I got a green, which was fun. And I got a ball of fritidsgarn, also from, no, that was from Sandnes. But it was given by the committee. And Selbu Ullspinneri, they gave everyone who participated a little mini of their wonderful yarn. Selbu Ullspinneri is a very small spinning mill, and this is made out of grå trønder, which is a local sheep breed. It's the Gimre. Then from Jens Hoff from JH Design, we got a little pouch containing some buttons and scissor. And from Linka Naumann, she is a designer of a lot of wonderful sweaters, including the Villmark-genser, the wilderness sweater, I don't know. She donated a wonderful cup, as well as these. You can sew in on your finished garments. Very pretty. And we also got from the committee a badge that says Norwegian Podcast Meetup 2023, and some stitch markers. I think these are like raglan stitch markers. I got the wine glass one. So cute. Lastly, we got a booklet with patterns from Martha Helgetun. Really beautiful. There's several different ones in here. I think this one is really nice. So pretty. And we also got from Hettestrikk pattern of Runde hats and mitts. And I was so fortunate as to win a yarn. This is from Stormdal Ull. This is also a small mill in Norway, and this is a rather thick yarn, but it's 100% Norwegian wool, so it's very special. I'm very excited to try it later. Not sure what it will become yet, but so pretty. So that was that. I had a wonderful weekend, and thank you to everyone who sees this and attended the meetup as well. It was so lovely to get to know you a little bit better.